Hi, I'm Jun. I'll be representing Group 2, Ashraf, Ian, Imran, Marco, and Taka to discuss about the international entry strategy for Jadi Imaging Technologies, or Jadi in the UAE. Established in 1993 and headquartered in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Jadi develops, formulates, and manufactures generic toner for laser printers and photocopiers. Jadi's toner products are used for refilling and recycling of cartridges by aftermarket manufacturers. It has always been Jadi's business model to manufacture for export, as the domestic toner demand is just too small to sustain a sizable production volume. As such, more than 97% of its revenue is derived from export sales to distributors who resell Jadi's products to manufacturers in their respective countries. Over the years, however, low entry barriers and the decline in global print volume have resulted in intense price competition between manufacturers and an oversupply of toner. The bargaining power of manufacturers and distributors grew, thus forcing toner manufacturers to lower their prices in order to maintain sales volume. As a result, the shrinking profit margin compelled Jadi to evolve beyond just being a mere exporter. The new strategy will require Jadi to forward integrate in order to serve manufacturers directly. Doing so would allow Jadi to circumvent distributors in its value chain, thus improving brand exposure and control over distribution channels. With this strategic direction in mind, we started looking for markets where growth opportunity is still high, but the power of distributors remains strong. The search led us to consider establishing the next sales and distribution center in the UAE to serve the Middle East region. The printer market in the UAE grew by 10% last year and is expected to grow by 4.5% next year. Total printing revenue in the Middle East and North Africa is expected to grow at 7.2% per annum, reaching $26 billion by 2018, according to the forecast from Smidas Pira. This growth potential presents an excellent opportunity for Jadi to grow its revenue contribution from the Middle East. Currently, the market there is primarily dominated by imported toners from China. Jadi's move downstream would hopefully enable it to compete more effectively with the Chinese imports. Having considered all options, Jadi will enter the UAE through a joint venture with a local customer called Gateway Computers. A JV is preferable to setting up a greenfield operation or a full acquisition, as the risk of operating in a new foreign market is shared with a trustworthy local partner. As part of the JV agreement, Gateway will not be allowed to distribute any other competing products except for Jadi's. It is also expected to contribute local market knowledge and provide access to local distribution channels. In return, they will be awarded the exclusive right to distribute Jadi's product in the UAE and will receive preferred pricing, management assistance, and technical support from Jadi. Direct participation in the local market will allow Jadi to gain precious market insights and feedback, which enables better operational planning and continuous product improvement. For example, local sales data would help improve production planning and optimize the use of resources to prevent undesirable stock-up problems, expensive last-minute deliveries, and potential loss of sales opportunities. For the JV to be successful, Jadi needs to ensure that Gateway shares the same objectives for mutual benefit. Clear performance measures should also be outlined so that both parties strive to make the JV work. Both parties must be willing to give and take. For example, Jadi could assist in training up Gateway's local technicians to enhance the quality of technical support. In return, Gateway would openly share market intelligence with Jadi. Functions such as R&D, product development, logistics, brand management, marketing, and manufacturing will remain centralized in Malaysia to support the sales and distribution in the UAE. To develop a strong capability in cross-country coordination, Jadi will have to integrate information, ERP, and accounting system to enable seamless and timeless exchange of critical data. For example, the actual sales data can be transmitted electronically to allow improved forecasting and production planning in Malaysia. Global strategic plans and budget should be developed and integrated with that of the JV unit in the Middle East. Performance reviews can be standardized globally, but compensation should reflect the local cost of living so that personnel are being evaluated fairly based on contribution towards the group's overall performance. Approval and effective policies and procedures can be shared to improve operations in the UAE. For example, the sales commission policy used in Malaysia can be applied in the UAE to motivate sales performance. However, other policies such as official work hours must be adapted based on local norms and practices. Jadi should also adopt a geocentric HR management policy involving a mix of parent and host country nationals to draw from the best available talent pool globally. Country managers should be appointed from Jadi's rank to lead the JV alongside the local partner to play the national organization defender and advocate role, as well as to enhance the role of the JV within the group as a whole. I'll now hand over to Taka to continue with the discussion. Thank you.
Thanks, Chin, for your input. My name is Taka, and we'd like to explain about three things today: Middle East culture, global strategy, and the political risk. So let me start from Middle East culture. So all companies who would like to expand the business internationally need to adapt the local culture across the world. So in this case, JADI is required to adopt the local culture in UAE. So from this perspective, JADI should consider Payne and Mayer's 6 rules on some. So here's the rules. Especially rule number 5, respect our cultural differences is important, we believe. So there are similarities between Malaysia and UAE because these countries are the Islamic countries. However, there are various differences in culture still between two countries. Therefore, JADI needs to respect the difference in culture in UAE. So there are 3 key differences in culture. So one is language. So in UAE, both English and Arabics are used for the business. Therefore, when you put advertisement, for example, you need to use both language to attract customers. A second key difference is the working hours. So working hour changes in Ramadan time or Ramadan period. And official weekend is Friday and Saturday there. And third key difference is a key success factor in business. In Malaysia, the business reputation is most important, but in the meantime, in the Arabic world, the mutual trust is most important factor to get success. Therefore, to adapt the Arabic culture, these points I mentioned should be reminded in particular. Let's move on global strategy. When we talk about the global strategy, Gamora's AAA strategy framework can be referred. The framework will guide JADI how to create the value in the global strategy. Each A stands for adaptation, arbitrage, and aggregation. Adaptation, the company's products, toner, are highly standard products. Therefore, JADI does not need to adapt to the local preference. Meanwhile, there is always a strategic advantage by searching for local responsiveness. Arbitrage, by partnering with local company, JADI can take benefit of the local company's expertise in business practice. And also, the partners' business relationship with other local companies will give the benefit to JADI. Aggregation, by aggregating the function of R&D and sales and marketing, JADI can create the value even at the initial stage. So for successful implementation of the strategies I proposed, JADI needs to understand the perfect combination of global standardization, local adaptation, and other integration. For example, JADI needs to understand how to do business in Arabic way. In the meantime, JADI needs to keep on providing a globally standardized product lineups to keep the competency. So from this perspective, JADI should always be aware of the best balance of these 3 elements. So lastly, let me touch upon the benefits for JADI to take a global strategy. 3 points. One is economy of scale. Second is global resourcing, means connect to access to the local customers. The third point is the capability to provide better service to global customers. These 3 points are the main benefits for JADI to take global strategy. So regarding political risks, there are 2 types of political risks that JADI needs to be aware of in the UAE. One is risk of general instability. UAE is an absolute monarchy, and in the meantime, it is politically stable right now. Therefore, the risk is low. However, JADI needs to be aware of the potential risk. The second risk is one of ownership control, operation, and transfer. UAE has been making an effort to be #1 business hub in the Middle East. Therefore, there are solid systems to protect business, such as legal system or a free trade zone system. Therefore, the risk is also low, we believe. So all in all, the political risks in the UAE are quite low. However, we suggest JADI to make an alliance with a local company to reduce the political risks. Because the local companies in general know the business practice in the country and may have a good relationship with the government. Therefore, making an alliance will reduce the political risk to JADI. So that is why. So thank you for listening, and now it's over to you.
Thank you, Chun and Taka, for those informative presentations. We'll now move on to the marketing and global account management aspects of this international entry plan. Therefore, the question is, how should JD approach its marketing strategy in the Middle East? From an international marketing perspective, there are a few points to note. Firstly, the marketing mix. As a company with foreign subsidiaries, JD needs to engage in a multi-country marketing strategy beyond the traditional marketing approach adopted by exporting manufacturers. The difference between multi-country international marketing is the need to adapt the marketing mix to the local country. Next, the product mix. JD would need to consider what product mix to offer, as different regions have different printers depending on the product strategy of the original equipment manufacturer. In the case of the UAE, the demand is for smaller printers, hence toners should be marketed for these product lines. Pricing is another consideration in the UAE which needs careful attention. As a new player in the UAE, with a limited presence in the market, JD may have to consider pricing its products at a more competitive rate, since cartridge distributors may already have their existing toner suppliers and may be comfortable with their quality and pricing. Or, if the quality of other competitors' toners is not satisfactory in the UAE, JD may want to skim the market by pricing higher, depending on the perceived value as a result of JD's difference in quality and performance. Regarding currency and exchange rates, JD will still need to monitor the exchange rate between the UAE dirham and the Malaysian ringgit, should it decide to repatriate funds, primarily due to the volatility of the ringgit over the last few years. A positive note is the absence of any UAE foreign exchange controls, which allows 100% repatriation of capital and profit by foreign companies. This makes the UAE a particularly favourable place to conduct business. Regarding promotion, this includes both advertising and sales promotion, which must be tailored based on regulatory requirements and local preference. For example, marketing collateral should be translated into the Arabic language, as most smaller cartridge refillers may not be literate in English. Advertising and marketing messages can make use of local actors in traditional Arabic attire for men and clothing which covers arms and legs for ladies to reflect the culture. Regarding distribution, JD can continue to rely on its local JV partner to access the distribution network which they have established to reach local cartridge refillers. In addition, JD will establish an online platform to offer an alternative channel for its customers. Regarding branding, JD should continue to capitalize on its proven brand image rather than developing an alternate regional brand. Initially, the coordination of marketing activities should remain in-house until a certain business scale is achieved, then outsourcing marketing with its inherent high costs could then be considered. Moving on to global account management. JD's entry into the Middle East region will allow them to better understand the local market requirements, mitigate market and operational risks, as well as evaluate the likely areas of revenue cost synergies for a potential full acquisition of the business in the future. JD will attempt to implement a control GAM structure to manage its key customer accounts in the UAE. The local country manager will double as a local account manager to assist the global account manager based in the Malaysian headquarters to serve these key company accounts. Decisions on global frame contracts for these key accounts will be made and signed at the Malaysian headquarters, as any conflict of interest between markets, commercial and legal issues must be addressed with a global perspective. And finally, in conclusion, from the information given for the marketing entry strategy and operational organization structure, it is clear that JD is in a strong position to globalize its operations, with a JV in the UAE a significant stepping stone for expanding and gaining greater control over its operations, revenue drivers, and ultimately its net profit. Thank you for listening.